One morning during my second pregnancy, I went into labor. Seeing me sitting down in distress, my daughter was worried. "Dad, take Mom to the hospital," she cried tearfully to my husband, who was tying his tie, pretending not to hear. Then he turned around, looking annoyed. No way. That's impossible. I have a business trip to go on." Ignoring my stunned silence, he grabbed his suitcase from the bedroom and headed for the front door. "I'm in labor and can't move." "Well, do your best. See you." The moment the front door slammed shut in front of me, I was furious. Leaving his wife in labor at home to go on a business trip. What was he thinking? I'll never forgive him. A week later, when my husband returned from his business trip, he spoke to our daughter through the intercom. "Daddy's home. Is your little brother cute?" "He's gone already." "What?" After that, my foolish husband experienced hell. My name is Maria Clark, and I'm a 33-year-old working mom. First, I'd like to talk about my upbringing. In my family's Taylor household, there is my 62-year-old father and a brother who is 4 years older than me. My mother passed away from illness when I was in elementary school. I still remember my frail and kind mother, my father and brother, trying their best to comfort me in my grief, raise me with dedication. My father is a high school gym teacher and a boxing expert. My brother, also trained by my father from a young age, is a boxing master himself. Both look solid and intimidating, potentially scary to others, but they are kind-hearted men who showered me with love and did their utmost to raise me. I could never thank my father and brother enough for everything. After graduating from college, I became an office worker. In the meantime, a senior at work organized a mixer for me since I was in my late 20s and without a boyfriend. There, I met Daniel Clark, who would later become my husband. Daniel worked as a salesperson at another company and was known for his excellent performance. After 2 years of dating, he proposed to me and we got engaged. Next, it was time to meet my family to discuss our marriage. Having been raised so preciously by my father and brother, I worried they might say, "We won't give away our daughter." But as I feared, my father, with tears in his eyes, said, "Maria, again getting married, your mother in heaven must be happy. Make sure you're happy." My brother, too, seemed deeply moved as he said, "Congratulations on your marriage, Daniel. Please take good care of Maria." Seeing my father and brother like this, I remember feeling like I was about to cry myself. After that, we went to greet Daniel's parents at their home. My in-laws were sensible and kind people, which relieved me. Both our families blessed us, and we registered our marriage. After that, we rented an apartment midway between our parents' homes and began living together. Daniel was good at helping out with the household chores, so I was enjoying a happy newlywed life. 6 months into our marriage, I found out I was pregnant. Daniel was overjoyed at the news. As soon as I entered the stable phase of my pregnancy, we told Daniel's parents, my father, and my brother. They were all very happy for us, especially my father and brother, who seemed overjoyed. "My granddaughter is on the way. I couldn't be happier, Maria. Take good care of yourself." "I'm going to be an uncle. I'm looking forward to it." My in-laws also cared for my well-being and told Daniel, "Make sure you support her properly." Thanks to their encouragement, Daniel attended the checkups with me and supported me devotedly. Eventually, I gave birth to our first child, a girl named CIA. Blessed by both families, I was on top of the world. Then Daniel and I started raising our child. Since he couldn't take paternity leave, I took on the primary role in childcare. But it was harder than I had imagined. Camilla cried a lot at night and was very fussy. She would sleep if I held her, but as soon as I put her down, she would start crying intensely. Therefore, I had to hold Camilla almost all the time. Daniel initially helped diligently with the newborn, but gradually began to slack off. Moreover, when Camilla started crying at night, he would say things like, "She's so loud. Hey, hurry up and quiet Camilla down." Night crying is inevitable. There is nothing I can do, I responded while soothing Camilla, but he still seemed irritated. "I have to go out for work tomorrow. Let me get some sleep." "Well, I haven't had a proper night's sleep in days either, Daniel. Can't you take over once in a while?" "Huh, why should I? You're on maternity leave. I'm working during the day." "But she's our child." Daniel didn't listen to the end. He clicked his tongue and went to sleep in the living room. Parenting magazines said that even couples who get along well can have tension due to the significant challenge of raising a child. However, Daniel and I had a good relationship during the pregnancy. Somewhere in my mind, I had dismissed it as not a big deal, but I never imagined Daniel and I would end up in such an awkward relationship. Despite my concerns about our relationship, I had no choice but to focus on the childcare at hand. Daniel continued to barely help with parenting or household chores, leaving me to handle most of it. Moreover, as Camilla turned 2, he started staying out more often, saying, "Work is busy." Still, I didn't say anything because he was working for the family. Sometime after Camilla turned 3 years old, I found out I was pregnant with my second child. When I told Daniel, his reaction was simply, "I see." I felt a bit let down, but our families blessed us again. However, this time the morning sickness was severe. I felt like I was on a ship all day, unable to even get up. When I discussed this with my workplace, they advised me to take a leave of absence, which I gratefully accepted. So here I am at home, battling nausea every day. While I managed to take care of Camilla, I was increasingly unable to do any household chores. That day, I couldn't get out of bed from morning, lying down at home, unable to do anything. Then Daniel came home late and said, "Hey, why are you sleeping? Where's my dinner?" "I managed something for Camilla, but I felt too sick to cook yours. There's some frozen food in the fridge. Could you possibly make do with that?" "Huh, you've been home all day and you're slacking on the chores," Daniel snapped irritably. I tried to make him understand my suffering, but he wouldn't listen. "On the contrary," he said harshly, "being pregnant isn't an illness. Don't use it as an excuse to skip work or household duties. Start cooking now." Before I could respond, nausea overcame me, and I rushed to the bathroom. As I left, Daniel continued to hurl sharp words at my back. Thinking you can gain sympathy that way is a big mistake. "I don't mean to. I'm really in pain," I said as I crouched in the bathroom. Camilla stroked my back, looking worried. Then Daniel sighed loudly on purpose. "Just do what you need to do. If there's no dinner next time, it won't be pretty." Eventually, I had to prepare his meal that day, fighting back nausea. He was so kind during Camilla's pregnancy. Why has he changed like this? Confused, I continued to live with Daniel anyway. Afterwards, instead of being considerate during my pregnancy, he demanded perfect housekeeping and parenting. Just like before I was pregnant, even though he was often away from home, if my chores were even slightly off, he'd make me sit down and lecture me extensively. This life was so hard that the word divorce crossed my mind several times. However, thinking of my father and brother who had celebrated our marriage and my in-laws, I couldn't discuss it with anyone. I desperately endured, not wanting to take away the father of Camilla and the baby on the way. Eventually, I reached the last month of my pregnancy as the due date approached. I asked Daniel to please stay home as much as possible. However, my husband continued his usual late hours, not listening. Exactly 1 week before the due date, I started feeling pain in my stomach from the middle of the night. I thought it was too early, but when I timed it, the labor pains were coming every 20 minutes. It's finally happening. I need to go to the hospital soon, I thought. It was dawn, and morning came. When Daniel woke up, I told him, "Daniel, it seems I'm in labor." However, Daniel ignored it. He walked past me and began getting ready. Then, as my stomach hurt severely, I sat down right there. Camilla rushed over and worriedly asked, "Are you okay? Does your belly hurt?" "The baby is about to be born," I started to say, but before I could finish, I was overcome by pain again and groaned. "Dad, take Mom to the hospital," Camilla cried tearfully to Daniel, who was tying his tie, pretending not to hear. He turned around, looking annoyed. "Huh? That's impossible. I have a business trip to go on." Ignoring my speechlessness, Daniel grabbed his suitcase from his room and headed for the front door. "I'm in labor and can't move." "Well, do your best. See you." The moment the front door slammed shut in front of me, I was furious, leaving his wife in labor at home to go on a business trip. What was he thinking? I'll never forgive him. But now, I didn't have the luxury of worrying about Daniel. I sent a message for help to the WhatsApp group where my father and brother are. 30 minutes later, my father and brother arrived at the apartment, looking frantic. They desperately called out to me as I crouched in the entrance. "Hey, are you okay? Let's get in the car and go to the maternity clinic quickly," my brother said, helping me up while holding Camilla's hand. My father looked perplexed. What in the world is Daniel doing at a time like this? Once in the car, during a break in the pain, I talked about what Daniel had done. Hearing this, my father and brother were astounded. "No way, but first, we need to think about your delivery. It's okay, we are here with you." Thus, we arrived at the maternity clinic. By that time, the contractions were 5 minutes apart, and I was quickly taken to the delivery table. Afterwards, I gave birth to a boy. The midwife told me that the delivery progressed so quickly and easily that it could have been serious. Next to Camilla, who was curiously peeking at her little brother, my father said to me, "Maria, I've been thinking." After hearing what he had to say, I agreed to it. As it was my second child, I was discharged from the clinic 5 days later. I didn't go back to our apartment, but instead went straight to my family home. From the birth to my discharge, there was no contact with Daniel. A week after the birth, Camilla and I were working at our original home when the entrance intercom rang. Daniel appeared on the screen. At my request, Camilla responded to the intercom. Daddy's back. Is your newborn brother cute?" she asked, to which Camilla replied, "He's gone." "What? He's gone far away?" Daniel, on the screen, visibly paled. After a while, I heard running in the hallway of the apartment. Then, locking the door, Daniel urged, "Hey, Maria, what do you mean by the baby is gone?" There were only Camilla and me in the room. Behind us were several boxes stacked up. Ignoring him and trying to get back to work, Daniel yelled again, "Hey, where is my son? You can't mean—" With a pale face and trembling lips, I coldly informed him, "If you're looking for him, he's at my family home." "Huh? So he's gone means he's not here?" Daniel collapsed onto the floor in relief. I was a bit surprised he still had such feelings. Oh, come on, how confusing. I thought something terrible had happened. Hey, what's with all these boxes? Oh, I'm moving back to my family home. What? What are you doing deciding this on your own? Daniel turned red and yelled, "How dare you leave your husband and go to your family home?" Then my father appeared from the back room. "Why are you here?" Daniel, who was intimidated by my father, a boxing expert, shrank back at the sight of my burly father. "What exactly are you doing?" "Well, you see, I tried to contact you. Instead of my daughter, I even called your office. They told me you weren't on a business trip but had taken personal leave. Moreover, you took it during a supposedly busy period." A colleague of mine also said this. "I was told a family member fell ill and had to be hospitalized. It was inconvenient with an important meeting coming up, but such circumstances can't be helped, so I let them take the day off." "So, who was hospitalized?" "That was actually my mother." Daniel's face grew paler and paler. "I checked with your mother just in case, but both your father and mother are well and unchanged." Daniel's eyes darted around at my father's words. I sighed. "Was it really not a business trip or family care but a getaway with your mistress?" "What? No way, that's not true. What are you talking about?" At that point, I pulled out several photos. There were messages with the other woman and incriminating photos. "What is this?" "I logged into your social media from your computer. You were exchanging messages there. The woman is your colleague, right?" "No, it's not like that. It was just, for fun." Before Daniel could finish, my father executed a perfect body blow on him. After taking a solid body blow, Daniel groaned in pain. "I'll let you off with this once, but the pain my daughter has endured is nothing compared to this. Go." To the groaning husband, I presented the already filled out divorce papers. "We're getting a divorce, Daniel. I'll have custody of both children. You'll be paying a hefty sum for alimony and child support for the daughters, so prepare yourself. Now go to hell, you scumbag." Afterward, I left with my father, pulling Camilla along as we moved out our belongings. Later on, Daniel and I finalized our divorce. I received a settlement of $30,000 for alimony, and we agreed on him paying $1,000 a month for child support. Of course, I also demanded compensation from his mistress. The two of them ended up breaking up after a dispute. After reporting the affair to the company, Daniel's bad reputation spread. His mistress resigned voluntarily, and Daniel was demoted. Daniel is still whispered about as a scoundrel in the office, but cannot quit his job due to the need to make child payments. He continues to work every day in a living hell. He can't advance his career, lost his family, and most of his earnings go to child support. Despite his dire situation, I feel no sympathy for Daniel. Rather, I think it's a fitting retribution. As for us, we moved back to my family home and started a new life. Camilla, who had little attachment to her father, seems unfazed by the divorce. My brother, actually a muscular child care worker, is great with Camilla and has honestly been a big help. Moving forward, I want to cherish my family and look forward to the growth of my beloved children, forging a bright future.